Town of Pendleton, we're one of 2 on the historic registry in the state of Indiana. My population I serve is 4,000, approximately. I have 7 full-time, and then I have 6 reserve officers. We're a bedroom community to Indy. It's a nice little spot. We're 20 minutes from Indy. Of course, with alcohol brings problems, whether it be crashes or traffic arrests, usually a DUI or something like that, and then of course domestics and fights and everything like that. For instance, today I dealt with a 18-year-old senior that showed up to school under the influence of alcohol, and I know he was dropped off by his buddy, who I later found in town, who had been drinking alcohol, and this was all before 8:30 in the morning. So it happens at all times of the day, all times of the night.
Underage drinking is an epidemic here. It's more than just an epidemic, it's more of a parasite that kind of eats at our community.
The average age of a student that's taking their first drink is 12. When you put a face to that and you see a picture of a 12-year-old and you think, boy, this is when they start experimenting with alcohol, it's quite frightening. It seems that it's coming from home. That seems like to be home. Friends, relatives, seems to be the #1 place that they're obtaining their alcohol.
I think we have just as high a level of problem as anywhere else. It's not an extreme, but we also do have underage drinking. And with that being said, I hear a lot of times, well, I'd rather have my kids drink at home with me. I'd rather, I know they're safe.
In small towns like this, it's more of the parents supplying the alcohol than the stores.
I had an example of what a social host ordinance was, and I just sent it out to all the chief of polices and the city council people within the county. And Chief Farr was one of the first to approach me and say, this makes a lot of sense to me. This would give my officers, although it's already a law, it's a criminal law right now without the social host ordinance, but this would give my officers an opportunity to present an immediate consequence to these parents that are providing alcohol. This place that it's being provided at made a lot of sense to him, and so he just was kind of my champion for Pendleton.
A lot of parents, and this is just my opinion, they want to be their child's friend, and I don't think that that's actually what's needed when they're in their high school years. And a lot of times with that mentality is, well, we'll let you drink as long as you stay home and all that. So I'm hoping that this ordinance, one, we have our own town court now. So by having this social host ordinance, we can cite a juvenile through our local court.
If an officer gets called to, a home where there's loud and unruly, noise going on, and there happens to be alcohol located there with youth involved and parents are involved, then it's a civil offense. So the officer can give them an immediate consequence and write them a ticket. And the fine is $500.
A lot of times we need to have a concern or a worry, some exigent circumstance that would make us want to make sure everybody's okay. Loud music. In the town of Pendleton, we have a loud noise ordinance. It's written to the fact that if I can hear it, it's too loud. So if I come up on your front porch and tell you need to turn your stereo down, and then I see 20 kids running to hide, the probable cause just keeps stacking up to where we can make entry and do what we need to do.
Parents who host lose the most. When I first heard it phrased that way, that's so true, because you lose the health of your child, be it long-term or short-term, and you can go to jail for it. It's illegal. So you just have to really push, this is illegal, it's bad for your kid, it's bad for you, don't do it.
The goal would be that, this would move on to the state. We get all these communities within the state on board, and then we can go before legislator and say, hey, this has been really effective in these communities, here's what we've seen.
The alcohol laws that we have now are outdated. The alcohol laws that were set before there were so much extensive studies based on it's bad for you to drink until you're 21, because that's when your brain is developed. Any law that is going to make it more difficult for teens to get alcohol is a good law. The social host ordinance, all it does is it penalizes parents for supplying alcohol to their children. There's no bad, no matter how you look at it, you can't take that in a bad way.
I like to hope that the press releases and the newspaper coverage and now this video is enough to help parents. Maybe instead of trying to be their friend, they can say, you can't do this because it's against the law and all that. Maybe give them a little crutch to say no to their children.
I hope that a party gets busted so that it can be shown, yeah, we were able to use it, and then hopefully it gets busted once, word spreads, and we don't bust anymore.
I do hope that this is a deterrent, and I hope that people realize it's not worth the risk to get arrested for this and get charged with it.